Yeah, and by the way, this Zoom meeting is recorded, so you guys can have reference in the future. Um, this is being again, this is being recorded, and this will be uploaded in Suite Assist. You guys have all access to it, and I have sent you guys your login credentials when you guys joined in. So, but if you forgot or you don't know how to access Suite Assist, feel free to reach out to me. I'll give you your login credentials. Yes, we can hear you, Randy. Yeah, probably just
Why don't you guys just start with the regular orientation like we always have in the past? Is Kathy on here?
she is. Hi, Kathy.
Yeah, I'm on. I'm just trying to get this camera to work.
Sorry, we should have jumped on a little earlier. Uh, has nobody started doing anything yet?
I did, sir.
Okay. I just want to see where we're picking up from. Jim, Francis used to have this PDF to use, but anybody that's on here, what I wanted to do is make sure that anybody knew how the processes were going again, and then I guess and we have Suite Assist almost set up to pay everybody directly out of the software without some other delays that have been going on. So we're gonna have Ann show anybody on here how to use Suite Assist again. You know, and answer anybody's questions. So if anybody has any questions, we can unmute or start typing them over maybe what's been going on the last 60 days. But I've ramped Jeremy up pretty efficiently, preparing checks and things like that. And then with Ann approving files and Suite Assist, we're able to turn the checks around pretty quick. So a lot of people keep calling, a day before closing and things like that, asking for an earnest money check that they forgot about. So couple of things we wanted to do is just set some expectations and reminders so that everybody kind of understood what they could expect, um, regarding the flow of a file or something like that. So hope everybody's having a good summer. Let's see. I'm gonna check the chat box here. Well, okay. So if nobody's gonna ask any questions or go interactive, I'm just gonna mention a few things. So all of our offices are open from 9 to 5. They're scattered around the city. Somehow, uh, somebody wants to share a screen like Jeremy or Kathy. There's a website that we have, um, that I try to use for everybody to go to find out information. So it will guide you to any one of our companies. Let me see if I can just share my own thing and get something going here. Jeremy, can you find the old PDF that Francis had that had the points of just things to go over for a new orientation, because we just want to reiterate a handful of technologies that we have.
Okay.
We've got a lot of people have even called me recently and said, what's Lofty? Like, I don't know. Whenever anybody joins the company, we're supposed to have an email goes out that offers the fact that we have this Lofty subscription, which is, if there's any agent that kind of says, well, what do I do to start, uh, you know, getting into real estate? Well, one of the things is Lofty has a community of agents around the country that are professional agents. A lot of them that are into Lofty are basically evolved their business enough that they see the value of Lofty, and so they share information back and forth. And so I believe that if somebody was, kind of wondering what direction to go in, that there are some community things in Lofty or some trainings available from people that know exactly what to do in real estate to get their business off the ground or evolve their business. So that's one of the things that I just keep pushing for people is, uh, to consider getting involved in that environment to help you increase your business however you can. And I think that I have my screen on right now that shows National Realty Guild. Can you confirm this, Jeremy?
Yep, it's on.
Yep.
One of the things I set this up for is because NRG100.com forwards right to this. So if anybody ever wanted to get anywhere in the company, they should be able to go here. And we've got the meeting here to log in. I don't follow the links to Zoom every week whenever we have one of these meetings or any private meetings. I always go here because I can remember nrg100.com. And with the NRG meeting link being here, I can go here and click and get into this Zoom meeting. So this other one we have here for yard signs and business signs, I've seen some people try reinvent the wheel and go find companies to recreate signs and things like that. And we always used to do that, especially 20 years ago. We take the logos places, but we have had this sign store set up, and there should be a promo code. They told me, I know the phone number is updated here. I think the manager on here is not the manager anymore for our group, but this phone number goes to a central group of agents that can take sign orders. So we have, all the templates are already in here, and the signs and the materials are in here. Now you can call and ask for a special discount. And there used to be a promo code up here. I can see this right here, Loyal Guild, but I don't know what that does. It might actually activate some type of a discount still. I'd have to call them and check, but I know Brian called and ordered signs the other day and made a phone call to them, and I think they took 40% off his order or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
hey, Randy, it was 40% and free shipping. So it was pretty cool.
oh yeah, so that's a heck of a deal. So I don't know if we would have got that if we would have entered Loyal Guild, but just if you're going to order some signs, make sure to make a phone call into there and then ask them for a discount. So some of these templates doesn't mean these are the only templates that you can use. I'll have to go back through here again. There's so many options. At some point creating the store, I was just like, just put some stuff up. I got to go. I could probably go back here and rake through it again and minimize some of the signs that are available so you don't get confused. Most of our signs out here are this deep dark blue with gold on them. At least the signs that we have in our warehouse up in Ramsey do. And those signs are the signs that the post company has, in storage, so that when they go install a post for you, they can hang one of the signs, and then you go on here and get one of your personal riders or something to hang on the bottom of the sign.
Hey, Brand, they're pretty fast too, because I ordered all custom signs and I had everything here in a week, less than a week.
That was going to be my next question. Thank you, Brian.
Does Randy know he's like, we can't hear
I don't
him?
know, Randy. We can't hear you. I don't know if you're. What he's doing. Unless he lost the screen. It looks like he almost did. Yeah, it looks like he's trying to get back on, and he's on. I'll text him. Hang on.
Okay, looks like I have to do this here. So, I don't know. I suppose my screen's not being shared either now, right?
It actually is.
Yeah, I still see your
Okay,
screen.
good. All right, so I'm standing here with my cell phone.
Hey, Randy.
So the sign writer is here, you guys. Yeah.
I was just going to say, isn't there, will the company also put a sign in for people right at the location of the home if it's in the cities? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, yeah, that's the signpost store. You know, I want to encourage everybody to order your own signs and brand yourself if you haven't already. It's your business, right? I mean, the same thing as having a State Farm office at State Farm. So the company has these resources, and we have, 100 signs up in storage up in Ramsey, and they'll put in a post. They charge $80 to drive out and put in a post, and that's professional. But they also have slots in the warehouse that a lot of our agents have their own signs in there. And then when we order a sign, we'll indicate which agent it is, and they'll grab the agent's personal sign and go put it on the post. And the reason that I encourage that is because you want to build your business here. I mean, it's kind of business 101 where the company has a sign there that's great, and you can put your rider on there, and hopefully you get the phone calls off the sign. I heard one time an average decent listing should bring in like 4 phone calls and buyers, and one of them should convert over to buy a home, you know? So that's just the pure reason why, to help you brand yourself, is to try to get those sign calls. There's a sign I put out in 169 on this little lake over by, where was it? It's like Mattis. I don't, either way, there was this guy that's losing his house in 2006 or 7, and I think I paid him $1,500 to let me keep my sign in the yard. You know, I never sold his house, so he was losing it, so he wanted to live there anyways for free. Went that kind of situation, but I got 2 or 3 calls off the sign. I think I made $17,000 in calls off the sign for people inquiring. So it's just why I encourage anybody to get their own signage. You know, I think we got it down to, I'm pretty sure you can get 3 panels customized for under around a couple $100. So it's not that big of an investment to have your own personalized name and number and stuff. So let's see. There's, if anybody doesn't know, we've got that's the other side. We've got a handful of offices around the city. If anybody on here is new, we got Woodbury and Minnetonka, that's opposite ends of the city. And then there's a couple in Bloomington in between. All of our checks go to Edina, right? I don't know if anybody knows, but we're basically like a Wells Fargo teller at the Edina office. That's where we process all of our mail and all of our checks. So somebody had mailed a check or so to another office, and I still hear, we were downtown Minneapolis for a decade. That address is no longer on this website, but sometimes the check will still get mailed down there. If anybody ever sees 33 Washington on any literature or any websites, I'd appreciate a heads up, because it's sold information. And so when something goes there, it really delays earnest monies or closings or anything like that. I think there's so long of a period that checks were being forwarded, but this has been 4 years. So the checks are being, I don't know, they just disappear now, or any type of mail does. So I saw a woman tried to serve me or the company for something over the last half a year, and I wound up getting photocopies of stuff going to Washington Avenue like 2 days ago. So I guess I still want to stress that's no longer our office. So if you're a lot of title companies even have our that address in their computer systems, for closings, they might just double check that it goes to Edina, not Washington Avenue, because however you handle your closings is fine. Driving checks around town and things like that. But I want to go to a closing at 2:00 today. I'm not going to walk in with anything. I mean, I'll have my cell phone if I need to retrieve anything, but I'm going to tell the closer to scan the Alta and email it to Ann, and I'm going to ask them to mail the check to Edina, and I'm going to go off on my merry way, so that I don't have to go driving around town to banks. So we almost have everybody here set up on ACH for a direct deposit. And I guess to make my life easy, I'm going to tell them to mail the check to Edina. Edina is going to put it in the bank, and then I'm going to transfer my funds over to my bank account, from the company. And that's what we do for every agent. So we've been pretty significantly turning that stuff around a little faster. And I found out, some of the things that were slowing down some check turnarounds. But of course, we have to have a complete file in. So if the file's turned in prior to the closing, and then all of a sudden we see that check, I'm pretty sure about the same day a check's going to get turned around and direct deposited into your bank account. Our agreement is a few days because, sometimes we're busy and not just, jumping up and down because there's a check. I know it's exciting. Sometimes it's fun to actually get that check in your hand and look at it for a couple hours. I understand a lot of people have said that. And I mean, gosh, all of a sudden there's $18,000. It's like, look at this check. You should take a picture of yourself with it. So it's a good job well done. But, there's days that we have, 15, 16, 18 checks or even 9. And then when every single file that we're looking at to review paperwork, it winds up getting to be a little overwhelming trying to turn it around as fast as we can for you. So that's why we try to follow kind of the process of just getting the checks into the office and letting the office deposit all of them at once and then start breaking down the files and making sure everything's in. So I'm hoping that when we get into Sweet Assist here, we start using it where we really can, but that we can start tracking the earnest money. I mean, I always say, that an agent should, if your earnest money is ever more than the commission, somebody's going to be running around on closing day trying to get that check over the title company. Options are, you can either have the check go directly over to the title company and not have to deal with it at all, or just set a reminder in your email to 1 week before closing that there's some earnest money to get to, because if it's higher than the commission amount, we have to get it over there so they can balance the books on the closing. If it's lower than the commission amount, they'll just send you the difference, bring it to the office, and we'll figure it out on our book and get your whole commission check to you. But I think, well, it depends on if we're closing, a lot, but what was it, a week and a half ago, I think 3 times all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, we got to overnight this, or how can we get this over here? We got to do a wire, that's $30. So it actually takes a long time to sit in there and call the bank and do wires, because all the protection out there for fraud and stuff now, it's not, it doesn't just take a second. So I'll check some of these questions really quick. I don't think I can use my video, and usually I'm going to ask somebody to moderate the questions. And so if anybody, any questions come in there, Kathy or Jeremy can bring it up. Jeremy's a little more knowledgeable our processes and stuff like that, so maybe better. But introduce Kathy here. What I did is I ran Kathy here, and she's retired and has asked, she said, I just love having stuff to do. It's just something to kind of keep going and stay busy and things. She's got a couple grandkids she's at, but it's one of those things about real estate with us. I tell everybody, you're not retiring, because all it is some light paperwork. It's pretty tough to retire in real estate when all of a sudden your friends are buying $1 million houses and there's a $25,000 check involved. So, but when Kathy, when I was kind of working with getting Francis to move on and kind of resetting some systems here, now I have an accountant coming in to help me on a higher level. I thought Kathy was a perfect fit because she's, looking for some things to do, but not be forced by an employer to have to work full time. And I was like, what I need is we still have our training classes and we have our, our CE and stuff like that. And we've been light on having any company events, but I want to make sure that if anybody calls into the company, that they don't go unheard. And so that if we're getting some feedback from an agent on our process, or somebody's looking for a form to get on the MLS or something like that, or cancel a listing, that it doesn't go unnoticed. And so she has access, and Ann and Jeremy also have access to the 651-330-8000 voicemail, and they can see the phone ring. And then the admin at NRG admin email Jeremy and Kathy are monitoring. So basically, we're still using all that, and we're pushing anything to whoever needs it. So if it's for Randy, I get it. If it's for Jeremy, or if it's for Ann, or somebody's just trying to get paid, you can still remember that one phone number and email address, and everything will just forward off to where it goes. Kathy, do you want to say hi to everybody for me so I can take a second off here?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here. I've met some of you in person. Scott and Dan, I see, are on here. Anyway, yeah, I've been pretty busy meeting new agents and or potential agents for coffee or whatever. And we had our SPAR event last week, and a couple of you people showed up, and that was a lot of fun to meet you in person. We're going to try to do like happy hours so we can all get together and talk and exchange ideas. And I'm new to everything because I don't have a real estate license, but I have done a lot of sales. And I was a teacher for 20 years in Coon Rapids. I taught special ed. And now I have 4 grandkids under 3 years old. So if you can imagine how crazy that is. And one of them is overnight with me every Monday. So if you ever hear something in the background on a huddle, it's Charlie. He's needing something. So, but yeah, Randy and I have been friends for almost 30 years. I've known him forever, and he's the best guy. I mean, I love him, and I just think that he's got more energy than anybody I know, and he's smart, and he knows how to make money, and he knows how to help you make money. So I don't know if anybody has any questions for me. You can email me at the admin@nrgadmin.com or call me at 612-710-2045. Nice to meet all of you.
I'm gonna try to get my headset going again here. I think I have it, and then I'll use that for a while until the battery dies again. Let's see.
You should probably add, Randy, that I am local. I live in Blaine.
I'm trying to use my headset. I was trying to use my headset and my video again, but this is place so. Come on.
We can see you, so.
Well, okay. So until I double talk, I guess. I need help here.
Okay, what can I do
Nobody
for you?
Can you guys hear me again?
Yes.
Well, I think what we're going to have to do is, we see where the offices are. We know how to handle earnest money. One thing somebody pointed out here is that they have trust funds. I mean, you guys, I don't know. I mean, we have trust funds as an office. And a lot of agents, I don't know if you guys know it, but most of the agents are sending their earnest money over through trust funds. And I mean, when I have to refund the check, all I have to do is press a button in trust funds. And it takes time, but it takes more time to write a check and all that stuff than it does, to use trust funds. It's automatically inputted into our account, and it's automatically refunded. Whenever an agent wants a refund, we just click the button and the computer does everything. So same thing with the kind of how we're doing direct deposit. It's just, so if you haven't been using trust funds, make sure you know that you can always send a link. The MLS has a link for it for you. If you're looking in your MLS and you're logged in, you'll see trust funds as an option as one of those hyperlinks, just like going over to get your forms. So, is Brandon Miskulin on today? He's our Wisconsin broker, if anybody isn't aware of that. I think he's traveling. Guy drives a lot. But, I own the company. Brandon's our Wisconsin broker. So if there's anybody trying to do a deal in Wisconsin without a license, we can get you the highest referral fee possible. Or you can track down any Wisconsin agents to help you collaborate on a Wisconsin transaction. But I was working with him and Ann yesterday to get set up for TC work so that she can write the offers for anybody trying to do a deal in Wisconsin. And then, Brandon was double checking the paperwork, and he found a lot of items that, over his experience of being Well, when you're a broker, you get a lot of experience because you get to get all the agents' questions, and it makes me, if over 20 years, I've had to figure out the answer, right? Because of what kind of stopped with me. So a lot of knowledge has come through just having to figure out so many different scenarios. And so that's one of the things he told me yesterday when we were doing a deal. He's pointing out all these reasons on a purchase agreement, maybe to do certain things, and it's all from experience. So I appreciated what he was showing me, and it's very, very just intuitive that the stuff that he's doing. It's like, well, yeah, but a lot of agents would make certain mistakes, like giving people the right to cure, and then their hands are tied on transactions and things. So there's a lot more to go into about that, but we're so close to the border here. If anybody doesn't know, I think, 14 hours of education in Wisconsin, and it counts towards your Minnesota, or most of it counts towards your CE. So kind of like a lot of people broker, education out of the way because it counts towards your CE anyways. And Wisconsin licensure does too. It counts towards your CE. So if anybody has to get a Wisconsin license, we hold the same program as it is for Minnesota. I think that's why we've had so many agents join here, because, well, there's just a handful of brokers that won't get the Wisconsin license. I'm just not sure why you wouldn't be licensed when we're sitting on both sides of the river so close. I want Ann to introduce herself because she's going to show everybody a little overview of Sweet Assist. And if it's not to, train you on the whole program today, it's more to just show you, easily log in, it went around a little bit, and I'm hoping that it just kind of gets into your memory a little bit, because a lot of agents aren't using it, and part of it is one of these things where we don't want to learn technology, and it's easy to email it to her. And we've offered that. I've offered it over and over. We've said, look, don't worry about it, just email it in, we'll handle it. Because it's really our transaction, like repository, in case the Department of Commerce wants to see a file, we've got them organized in there. But if you learn how to use it, there's benefits to it for you. So I don't have some signing stuff like Wisconsin. Well, there's a signing feature in Sweet Assist, and maybe it's just a duplicate from like DocuSign or not, but I know it could be a benefit for you. There's some other features set up on there where you can buy t-shirts or, hats or try to make it our resource. I know we've got a lot of training videos in there. So if Ann will take over here and show Sweet Assist, then I'll be all set to take a little breather here and decide if there's any more information I've got to show you. And I'll read through all these questions. So like somebody, if anybody wants to go to Lofty or get a user, I'll let you use Lofty for like up to a month and a half or something. Like, today's the 29th, so if we turn it on, we'll let you try it out through September, or through August. If you like it, you'll find that it's useful. The agents that use it accelerate their business with it. I think the agents that don't use it and have tried it just never went around the learning curve to log in and actually utilize it. Hey, I'm guilty of doing it myself. Totally understand. But if somebody wants to use it, I believe if you called Lofty up for one single user, it's going to be a couple $100 a month. I have the enterprise version, so I have a lot of seats available. I can give them out for like $35 a month. And so it's a steal for the amount of, for what it does for you. I mean, it's just hands down. Brandon started using it, and he said it's made his life a lot easier because he lets it do the work for him. I think some of the AI is involving conversations of converting people. I got, 2 days ago, it was telling me, I had another person says, I want to see a house, gives me their name and phone number. I mean, I don't think you get much better than that, having the AI convert over somebody saying, here's what time the appointment is to go look at the property. So if anybody wants to get that Lofty thing, email in. It looks like Scott was asking, so Jeremy can respond to that if he hasn't already. Get him a seat, let him try it out. If he wants to stay on it, we'll start billing September 1st, $35 a month. And if he doesn't want it, doesn't learn how to use it, we can shut it off. So I think that's Scott from Rochester. He drove up and I met him at the Spar Barbecue. I know if anybody's on the Minneapolis side, I guess Minneapolis Association's got some taco trucks coming to their parking lot next month. trying to have the association give back because all they really do is take our money. But I know that if anybody's interested in going out there, maybe you'll wind up attending that one too. And let's see, I'm looking for Ann to go over Lofty. That was the plan here. She tried to call me a minute ago, so I don't want to sit around and have a bunch of technical difficulties, but I'm going to have to call her.
She's on.
I'm here,
Okay.
Randy.
Well, what is she doing here? Okay. So can you take over here and do a little screen share? I'll stop sharing on my screen and maybe just show a quick log into Lofty, upload documents or how the tools work, but we're not going to do any in-depth stuff. Right? We keep our Tuesday huddles when we have them to like 45 minutes. It's already 10:05 and it's nice to see everybody that has their camera on or their photo up. So I like to, like I told a handful of people 15 years ago, I knew every single person, even 10 years ago. And I like hope. So it's nice to kind of see you on these huddles. I'll let Ann take over.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Ann. I work as a transaction coordinator and a compliance manager at the same time for National Realty Guild. So the difference is compliance manager. So on that side, it's either you upload your documents on SuiteAssist. That's the platform that I handle, not Lofty, by the way. So it's SuiteAssist. That is where we upload all the documents for documentation and for DOC compliance. And it's where you store your documents and then I review and let you know if there's anything missing, if there's any missing signature, missing documents, so that once we receive the check, you're all set to go. Because to let you know, we need to have the complete documents before we can pay out your checks. Okay, so from listing contract, purchase agreement, and the closing documents, which we usually receive from the office along with a check. So kindly let your closer know that they need to send a copy of the closing statement or the ALTA along with the check so that we don't have, or you don't have to forward it to us, or you don't have to upload it to SuiteAssist. So what I do as a transaction coordinator, as you know, so from the listing up to the closing, I handle the transaction, sending signatures and sending documents to the seller, coordinating with the buyer's agent. I'm inputting all the information to SuiteAssist, but that's going to cost you $225. That's going to be deducted from your transaction once it closed. So now let's go back to SuiteAssist. So this is what's our topic for today is. I'm going to show you how you can log in. So by the way, the website would be suiteassist.com and you can let me or Jeremy or Kathy or Randy know if you don't have your login information, because supposedly once you on board, we should have sent you the username and the password. But if you don't have it, just kindly email, text me, or let us know so that we can provide it to you. Because that's what you need for you to log in. Because basically that's your username and the password. Oh, let me just go ahead and share my screen 1 second. Can you let me know if you see?
See it.
Yep.
Okay. Perfect. So I'm just gonna log as the first login was for an admin. Now this one is the login for the agents. Now, so once you go to suiteassist.com, you enter your username and your password. So it should go to the dashboard. And here's where you can see all your transactions or what are the transactions that I uploaded for you. Because you have options in uploading documents. If you're really having problems, if you're not familiar with how to upload documents, you can email the documents over to me. I can upload it to you, but we strongly suggest to be familiar with Sweet Assist because, as Randy mentioned, this is where we are going to um, process your payments. So we are starting to set up all payments to go through Sweet Assist. So if we are kindly asking you to be familiar with it. If you have any questions, you can let us know. You can barge in and let me know. So logging in, does everybody have their username and password so that, maybe you can go ahead and log into your screen. If not, then you can try after this. Anyway, this recording is this video is being recorded, so you can go through or you can go back and go through it again. No, okay. So I assume all of you guys have your username and password. So anyway, so once you were able to log in, this is dashboard. This is where you have all your transactions. Now, if you are trying to put in all your documents on Suite Assist, all you need to do is just click on transactions, click on my transactions. Okay, so there are two ways or two buttons that you can click. Here's one. If you would want to create a transaction, you can click on here or here, and it would go to the screen where you need to enter your transaction information. So first you need to choose whether it is on the buyer side or the seller side. Like for example, we are on the seller side. If it is a Wisconsin listing, if it is a Minnesota, so you need to choose. So let's go for Minnesota. On this part, you can skip. It's optional. And in here, you can go ahead and enter. And on this screen, you need to enter your seller's information.
Now this software should remind an agent if there's earnest money to, grab a week before the closing if it's set up. So if any of you start using that, the other thing I just encourage anybody to do, it's put that in your personal calendar on Outlook or whatever you have going on whenever you have a closing. I used to set up triggers in our old software that would say, inspection contingencies over or double check earnest money amount before a closing.
Okay, so let's go ahead and continue. So by the way, this is my email address. So you can send me a question, any inquiries about transaction coordinator and Suite Assist. And if you have a listing, so just shoot me an email. This phone number, work phone, it's optional. So you can just go ahead and click on create contact. And then you can create your transaction. And it would go to another screen. So here's where you can set up contact information for this particular transaction. Like let's go ahead and wait. Okay, so sales price of the listing can go ahead and enter. If there's no earnest money, then you can go ahead and leave it blank. If you'd want to put in the date in here on when you're planning to list the transaction or the listing, expiration date. Okay, if you don't have this information yet, then you can just go ahead and skip contact information. If you're sharing your transactions to another agent, like for a co-listing agent, then you can add him here. Okay, so I'm the primary agent. Now you have any transaction coordinator, you can add them here, or you can select a user or another agent's name under our brokerage, and you can add them. Okay. Task, if you want to remind yourself about a task for this particular transaction, you can add them as well. And okay, I'm sorry, still loading.
If you're on a
Okay.
team, this is where a team will put in commission splits so that we know how to divide up checks at the end. Or if you have a referral to some outside company, there's a place to break down your commission disbursements also.
Yep. We're gonna go to that on the next after this. Documents tab. This is where you upload your documents either individually or if you would want to upload them all at the same time. So it's either you click on here, like for example, you have your agency relationship. So you can click on upload the document and it will be uploaded. It will be assigned to this particular category, or you can click on upload bulk files. This is where all your uploaded documents on this side is going, by the way. So you can just click here and then you can choose from your computer or wherever you store your information. And then all at the same time, it will be posted and then you can assign the documents to a category from the previous screen that we have. So again, all the documents that you upload, whether individually or bulk, this is where you can see it if you click on upload bulk files. Now we're going to go to the CDA form. This is what Randy has mentioned. This is basically the settlement information. So if you have your closing information or closing company information, you can input it here. But if you don't have it, then no worries, because I actually filled this out and we sent it out to you guys for approval. Like, for example, we received a check, we input information on it. Settlements information will be inputted in here. So this is the earnest money, sales price, company name for the closer, acceptance date, deposit held. This is how much we are holding for the earnest money if we have the earnest money, and the closing date. So on this part, you can enter your commission amount. If there's a split, then you can go ahead and enter the information in here. Like, for example, flat fee. What I usually do is how much we receive, how much earnest money we have on our end, and the admin fee if it was paid by the buyer or the seller. Like for example, you receive 1,000, right? We don't have any earnest money, but the one who paid for your admin fee is, sorry, the buyer, which is me. So it was charged. So the total of your commission supposedly is 1,595, but since we are deducting the admin fee, we put it here, and that's going to show on the CDA that we are going to send over after we receive the check. So some of you guys actually receive it, some of you don't. Not sure why, but supposedly you should have received a copy of the CDA that would confirm that we have the check with us and we are going to process the check, and you will receive you receive the CDA as a notification that this is what the breakdown of your commission is. And if you have any question, once you receive the CDA, feel free to reply back or let me know. Give me a call, Brandy or Jeremy, so that we can clarify with you if we made a mistake or if there's any missing information on it.
Anybody who has a team is going to want to log in for their team and get the splits if they have people under them and they're managing the transactions so that we cut the checks properly. You know, we're trying to slow down a little bit. Francis was always cutting checks just to try to get them in your hands. And a lot of times you cut your check because it's, 96% 96% of the checks we cut are probably, 100%. And all of a sudden there's a split and it's like, oh no, now we're moving money back and forth because we got to fix it. So we just need everybody to be more, I guess, accountable and upfront. Let us know if you have a transaction closing with a split. I mean, I don't know. We're kind of eager to turn checks around, but our job's really to make sure we got a nice compliant file if the Department of Commerce asks us for it. And the only leverage we have is not paying until we have all the paperwork. So it's kind
Yep.
of a
So
catch.
we would really appreciate it if, like, for example, you have a split with this particular transaction and it closed, and you know that they'll be sending the check to us. If you can give us a heads up, like after closing, give us a call or well, send us a quick text or an email. Hey, Ann, you'll be receiving a check for this one, and I have a split with someone, and so that we can take note of it if you're unable to do so. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to your transaction and put a note on it just so when we receive the check, we would know what to do and we can disperse all the commission equally to anyone whom you've, had a split with. Okay. Do you have
Here's a
any question with
question.
uh-huh?
There's one from Brian that maybe could go to Clark, is asking if Lofty and Sweet Assist can be connected to an API. I'm pretty sure Lofty has the ability, but the Sweet Assist does it not. I suppose all we transfer is property address over and the name and phone number of a client and port them or something like that. Maybe some other property information, but
I'll go
specifically, if
ahead.
we know exactly trying to communicate back and forth, Clark could probably say, "Good question." And tell us
Yeah,
how to set it.
You can
I'll
transfer
go
too, because I keep like all my documents in Lofty. They store them there.
I'll go ahead and get back with you, Brian. I'll shoot an email with or to Clark, and I'll let you know as soon as it replies back if that's going to be possible, so that you can, you don't have to do it twice. We can just go ahead and merge. So
Anything unanswered on this chat box? Since it's 10:22, it's about 52 minutes into the call. I know we got off a little late, but we don't want to run these calls too long. Otherwise, it just get a little too daunting to even get on the call. So we try to keep them fresh and keep them moving. If
Yep.
anybody has a question, you can unmute yourself, or we just wanted to
I
give
have
you a
a
little
question.
overview. Yep.
Go ahead.
If it's a out-of-state referral, do you guys mail the check or do we pick it up and mail it to them?
Well, huh?
If it's an out-of-state
Mail a
referral,
check or pick it up and mail it?
yeah.
I mean, our office will mail out a check.
You mean if
Yep.
we are to receive a referral check from another location, should they or will you pick it up and drop it at the office, or will they send it over? What works
Um,
best for you?
no, like I got a referral from out of state, so I helped them buy a house here.
Hmm.
For the person that referred me, I'll pay him a commission, like a percentage.
Hmm.
So
Have to
I
go
would have,
broker to broker. So tell us the split and where to mail the check, and we'll decide if we need to follow up and get a W-9. A
okay,
lot of agents that have more professional companies that are specialized in referrals, they'll send us a whole list of ways to pay,
okay,
but the broker will pay them directly.
I see. Okay,
Yeah, you just tell us the split. And then they can ask them, if they have multiple forms of receiving payment, they might give us ACH information. They might give us some online portal or just say, mail us a check. So yeah, just
sure.
tell us that before it closes and we'll divide up the money. The other
Okay.
option is for the title company to mail it out directly, but they'll probably put it on us and have us do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, if anything got missed, anybody, I put in that chat box. You don't have to remember all these email addresses and phone numbers. I mean, the 3308,000 up to be an easy number for agents to remember when they need help, and then admin at NRG admin is being monitored. So if you don't remember Jeremy and Ann's phone numbers and all that stuff, and it's not an immediate hurry, and you just send your stuff, continue to send it into that address, and we'll forward it to where it needs to go. And then you got my number if you need to call. So I guess, have a good week and enjoy your summer. If you need any help from us, give a call back or contact one of us or email or text. It will help you keep moving along with your sales. I'm going to sign off.
All right, guys, if you have any question, Sweetest says, or question about your listing. So by the way, I just saw the question for MLS listing. So you need to log into your North Star MLS. I believe you have your credentials, your login information. That is where you enter your listing. But if you need help, just let me know. I can go ahead and either give you the instructions as how to log in and list on your own if you prefer to do it that way, or you can send over the signed documents to me, and then I can go ahead and enter the listing, and then you can take it from there. You can edit, you can add your photos, you can add your disclosures, or whatever information that you would need to add, then you can go ahead and do so. Otherwise, let me know
Oh,
if you
yeah.
need help on it.
Yeah, if anybody's on here still, I got off on my computer, not my phone. So, these listings are so easy to put in on your own and edit. Now, you cannot put them TNAS for some odd reason. I don't think you can cancel them either. We have to do that. But if anybody hasn't learned how to do a listing, I think there's some training, there's some videos. They made it so easy that there's no reason for you not to learn how to do it, because it gives you full control of being able to edit your listings on your own. And back in the day, it was complicated. Now it's so simple. It's unbelievable. So have a great week, and thanks for coming on.
All right.
Bye,
Thank you,
everyone. Thank
guys.
you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.